Saw two people, a few people have text just saying that they're coming on and I'm recording because some people won't be able to make it. But I say whoever's here is exactly where you should be. So thank you guys for coming. And as people come in, I will let people in. So it's 2026. Welcome to the first coaching circle for 2026. I'm so excited. And I'm just grateful for another year to continue on our wellness journey, to continue just moving and grooving. And I'm asking this year for everybody to at least commit to come into every single circle. And this circle is about self inventory and intentions. So being really mindful of like how you're showing up in this first circle and then the last circle, I guarantee you will not be the same person showing up in the circle at all. So this is about you. This is your time to pour into you for your development, for your wellness. And so we're gonna jump right on in. It's gonna be asking a lot of questions. So I hope you got something to write with, a pen. If you're driving or just not, just doing it in your mind, it is you can't get this kind of stuff wrong. Let it be intuitively led. And I feel like you'll land exactly where you need to be. So for those who are just joining, I see somebody else is joining. This session here is a self-inventory and intention set. A lot of people in the new year feel this pressure to like perform and to like jump in. And, it's this, anxious thing to get started and change and get more discipline. And, we don't have to disrupt our nervous system to do that, right? Because you guys know I'm the do less, be more coach. So we don't have to disrupt our life and our nervous system to kind of invoke transformation. So this session really is going to be taking some self-inventory and then we're going to go from there. So if you have something to write with, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. So first thing I'm going to ask, and we can share here too. If you don't want to share, just write down whatever your answers may be. But for the first, I'm going to ask a grounding question. If you could name one word on how you are arriving today, what would it be? Welcome, 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 Elisa. We're just setting for you just joining. We are setting doing self inventory and intention, and so I've presented this question, and a lot more people are coming in. So I hate to repeat myself, but I want to make sure everybody can join in on the exercise. Welcome, welcome, and so we are doing self inventory and setting intentions, and so I've presented this question, the very first grounding question. If you could name one word for how you are arriving today, what would it be? If you could name one word for how you are arriving today, what would it be? And for those of you just joining, I'm asking a grounding question. This session is for self-inventory and setting intentions. And we're not going to disrupt our nervous system. We don't have to have that pressure that 2026 brings with a new year and I got to do so much. And we're not even doing that. We are just taking self-inventory to really see where we are right now. So if you've been able to ask that question for you that you who just come on, if you need more time, if you could name one word for how you are arriving today, what would it be?
I think I'm kind of stressed.
Okay. Yes. And is there anything particularly contributing to that of how you're arriving?
It has to do with my schoolwork because I started a class and I accidentally went and started the wrong one. And I mean, I got to finish it because I started it, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to do actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm like, I want to do it. I want to complete it because I figure, well, if I accidentally did it, maybe there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of stressed me out because it's like work that I don't have to do because I'm already doing it. And
Yeah.
then the course is, uh, well, I still have, supposed to be, I have till May to finish it, but
Okay.
I only have like two more units to do. But I'm still like, all the essays and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I don't really even have
Mhm.
to do this because I already do the work, but there's a reason for it. So yeah,
Mm, I love that. Thank you for explaining that. And I think, and I have an intention that by the end of this session, you're going to get some clarity about that, even if it's confirmation. And then
thank
we
you.
had some people put some stuff in the chat. I mean, if you want to put in the chat too, you can. It's for you. Somebody put arriving excited and anticipation. I love that. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, so we are going to settle in however you're arriving here. We're just going to do a moment to really fully show up for ourselves in this moment, connect to your mind, your heart, your intuition, and just tell yourself gently, we are fully here, we're fully present, and all of us gets to be here. So bring your mind. I know you might be thinking, what's gonna have for dinner? Or I got to do this, or I got to do that. Maybe you're in the midst of driving or at work, but just tell yourself we're showing up for ourselves in this moment. This is our time. And then take a deep breath if you need to. Everything that is waiting for you, just put it on the shelf. It'll be there for you when you get done. All right. So I'm going to ask you all a series of questions for self-inventory. Again, you cannot get this wrong. It is intuitively based. So whatever comes up for you in this moment, let it come up and let it come out because it apparently wants your attention. So intuitively led. First question. When you look at your life honestly right now, and I'm going, oh, sorry, before I ask the question, I'm going to pull up what I use as the 8 dimensions of wellness. So I use, as most of you that work with me, I use 8 dimensions of wellness. And what it basically says is there's 8 dimensions that make us well. So I use this framework for all of my coaching clients, even the clients I do readings and energy work for, because it helps you to fully, wholly show up as you, right? So you're the center, and then there's dimensions to our wellness. So these few questions I'm going to ask is going to refer to this. So I'm going to actually pull up the picture so that you can see and just see whatever generates from looking at it. Can everybody see it? Somebody just say yay or nay so I know.
Yes,
Yes,
I can see
I
it.
can see it.
Okay, perfectly. So in the next few questions, I want you to really center on these 8 dimensions of wellness for these next just a couple questions. When you look at your life honestly right now, which dimension do you feel most aligned? And I'm doing this exercise with y'all because y'all know I do it before, but then it's always be new stuff when I do it live with y'all. The question again is when you look at your life honestly right now, which dimension do you feel most aligned? Okay. Second question. And I don't want to give y'all a lot of time to think because I want it to be intuitive. And for y'all overthinkers, I don't want y'all to overthink the answer. So I might go through them a little quickly. Which dimension do you feel most tired, heavy, and stretched thin? Which dimension do you feel most tired, heavy, or stretched thin? Again, which dimension do you feel most tired, heavy, or stretched thin? All right, the next one. Which dimension has been asking for your attention that you've been postponing or overriding? Which dimension has been asking for your attention that you've been postponing or overriding? Again, I'm not going to give y'all a lot of time because I want it to be intuitive, right? Which dimension has been asking for your attention that you have been postponing or overriding? All right, the next one. Which dimension are you ready to stop forcing improving? Which dimension are you ready to stop forcing improving? For you that have just joined us, I'm asking a few questions for self-inventory based off of the 8 dimensions of wellness. It's intuitively led, so you can't get it wrong. And we're going to talk about these too. I just want to keep the picture up while you guys jot down your answers, and we're going to kind of go through it together. But which dimension are you ready to stop forcing improving? Which dimension would you feel like you're ready to shift your perspective in? Which dimension would do you feel like you're ready to shift your perspective in? Again, which dimension would you feel, do you feel like you're ready to shift your perspective in? And so we got a few people that have put some information in the chat. It could be just where you're keeping your notes too, and that's cool. So I really want to open it up just for us to talk, because sometimes you got to talk these things out, right? We're here to share. So out of those questions, if anybody's willing to share, I'll go for the top one. When you look at your life honestly right now, which dimension do you feel you're most aligned? Anybody want to share what their dimension is and sort of how they arrived at it?
I feel I am more spiritually aligned because I have been at a very, I don't want to say low place, but I would just say I've been at a kind of empty place, seeking, searching for, okay, I'm like, I'm looking for God, or yeah, I've got so much going on in my life. I need
Mm-hmm.
these, but understanding, like in the back of my mind, behind all of that, I know He's never left me. He'll never leave nor forsake. But as we follow our own ways, our own paths, and just trying to figure life out in itself, we come up with our own devices to make things suffice for us in the moment. Like it's not that spiritually that I was lost, but it was just like I just was like, yeah, let life just life. And but then finally buckling down and, being mindful of my foundation of my spirituality, going back to the relationship of my spirituality, not necessarily the religion of it, has really cultivated so many things within myself that has spiritually allowed me to overcome a lot of different obstacles. So spiritually, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Did anybody else that be open to share also pick spirituality as the dimension that they feel most aligned? And for those of you that's just joining, I asked a few questions based off of the 8 dimensions of wellness. And so now people are sort of giving their responses. So the first one we had was uh, if you look at your life honestly right now, which dimension do you feel most aligned? And Tavisha was lovely enough to share that spirituality was hers and how she arrived it. Anybody else that has spiritual, and if so, would you be open to share why that feels the most aligned with you? Coco, go ahead.
Hi, my love. Sorry for the
Hi.
weird. I was getting my
Nope,
nails done and trying to be back home in time, but waiting on Wayne. Anyway, here you go,
you're
baby.
fine.
But I would say, yeah, spiritual alignment. That's where I feel most aligned. That's the circle that I feel most aligned in right now.
Hmm.
Similar
Hmm.
to how Tavisha said, like I'm just my trust. Hi, baby. My trust is just up there, like the trust in the divine and the trust that I'm on the right path. It
Hmm.
just feels so, it's like the one that has the most clarity out of everything. That one and intellectual.
I love it. I love that. Thank you for that. Did anybody have something other than spiritual or intellectual, since you mentioned it, that you feel the most aligned? And you don't have to if you didn't have one, but I'll move on. I just wanted to see if anybody has something other than spiritual.
I could go, Steph. This is
Uh-huh.
Show Me Day. And I have physical.
Okay.
Feeling fine with physical right now. Because I am feeling more in a grounded place, and I feel like I'm
Mm,
focused a lot on my like my physical wellness. So walking daily.
mm,
Um, Although I had an accident, so having some back pain, but I've been actually like doing breathing exercises and stretching to help like with the pain, eating healthy, and also just
mhm,
doing a lot of groundwork for other areas of my life that require your boots on the ground. So feeling
mhm.
really physical right now, aligned with
I
that.
love that. I love that. I love that. And be mindful of, this is our group, this is our tribe. So if we get to these questions, if it's a dimension where you struggle and somebody else thrive, you might want to get their number. Be like, hey sis, help me. And Ebony is amazing belly dancer and embodiment coach and womb wellness coach. And I mean, she is that person. So yeah, that aligns. All right, so this one, which dimension do you feel most tired, heavy, or stretched thin? Which dimension do you feel most tired, heavy, or stretched thin? Anybody want to share which dimension they chose and how they kind of arrived there?
I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
So I put emotional and occupational
Hmm.
because school it kind of goes hand in hand, but school has really been draining. As you know, it's been a challenge with
Hmm.
everything that I've been going through and just knowing that um it's time for me to graduate and everything. So just going through that and knowing that um I don't know, I just like I said, been feeling stretched thin. I'm sorry, I'm in the grocery store.
No, you're
And
good. Thank
then
you. Hmm.
as far as social, I think I said, did I say social or
You
emotional?
said you say emotional, occupational.
Emotional because I feel well, really social and emotional. I feel as if I kind of overextend myself in areas of being emotionally and socially available for people that I'm not necessarily always cut out to do. I feel like I overextend myself in those areas when sometimes I just
Mhm.
feel like I need to pour into me. So just learning to show up for me. And if I don't have the mental capacity to show up for others, then really setting that boundary and standing on it.
Well said. Absolutely. Anybody else have either occupational, emotional, or social that they felt stretched thin in, and that could kind of relate to what Shady was saying a little bit?
I have emotional.
Yeah, Elisa, I was about to say you were just saying school too and stress. So
Yeah, yeah. So I connected, definitely connected with what she had. So yeah, I only put one, but emotional,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
I have social and emotional, so definitely
Okay,
connect with Shady on that one.
social and emotional. Yes, absolutely. I love that.
Hey, hey, Stephanie, can I say
Hey,
something? So,
Kiana.
oh, I'm so happy I'm able to join. So
Me too.
we're actually at the airport on our way back home. We were in Chicago to honor and celebrate my brother-in-law that passed away last year. And
Oh.
so for me, what I had to learn was, because we lost like five on my with my husband. So we lost
Mm-hmm.
five people in his family last year. And like these were
Wow.
these were like significant and big deaths, you know, not just
Mm-hmm.
oh, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, not to get into everything, but like my father-in-law passed in
Mm-hmm.
February, and then my brother-in-law passed 5 months after that.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was just like, wow. And so we came to Chicago because it's his birthday is actually tomorrow. So we honored his birthday and did a
Mm.
celebration. And so on our way here, it was like the spirit was like very heavy, because the
Mm-hmm.
last times we have came to Chicago was just all about funerals. And so
Mm.
some just told me in my spirit, was like, you know what? This is going to be different. Y'all are going to have a good time. It's for a different experience. So just live in the moment and have a good time. And so I
Mm-hmm.
told my husband that, and then it was like a weight just was lifted off of both of us, and
Mm.
we had a really good time. And so with that, I'm learning that, what can we learn from everything that we go through? Because like they
Mm-hmm.
say, things don't happen to us, it happened for us. And so we can't
Mm-hmm.
change the past, but what can we do to learn in it and be better. And so
Mm-hmm.
even with this, it was just like, wow, we get to see each other, we get to come together for a good time, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not all just bad. And so that's what
Yeah.
I've learned, during that season last year. Like with life, you
Mm.
always gonna have good and bad. That's inevitable. But it's how do we handle it and how do we deal with it? And
Mm-hmm.
honoring both the good and the bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, thank you so much for sharing that, Kenyatta. And that's heavy to have a lot of releases back to back. That's significant in grieving through that. So thank you for sharing that with us. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. That is a lot. And I'll, let you guys know in the next couple 12 months in the circles, we will talk a lot about grief. Y'all know a lot, some of y'all know that I do grief coaching as well, and grief sort of support. And that have been something that I got feedback from people in the circle to really talk more about our perspective on that. There's so many different perspectives with it when it comes to grief and things like that. So that will be something that in a circle we'll talk more about this year. So I love that. Thank you. So for the last one that I'll do for the dimension is the one of which dimension would you feel like you're ready to shift your perspective in? Can anybody share what dimension they chose for that one and sort of how they arrived at that? Which dimension would you feel like you're ready to shift your perspective in?
I'll go again.
Okay, thank you.
Um, so this kind of the reason why I chose to go now is because it kind of was going back into the one that I feel more stretched in. And it will be emotional, so I can also relate to Shady as well. Why for me, I just decided that every 15th of the month, the significance of 15A. My birthday is March the 15th. But every
Hmm.
month I'm having a letting go party, a letting go celebration. And my personality is so bubbly. So literally I'm smiling about it because I'm excited about it. Like we never know what we carry from day to day because we are in our human nature such a run on or keep it moving, individual kind of people. And but what we don't realize is the things that we do not let go in a day's time, and then we're wondering why we're waking up with these headaches or why we're feeling so tired, overwhelmed, and all of these different things. It's like, hey, I thought I slept pretty good last night, but you're still tired. Or you still you? It's because it's those apps in the background that you never quite really shut down. So if I don't get to do it but one time a month, I'm having a let go celebration to remind me of what, who, when, where, and how I need to let go. Maybe it's something that is just still lingering that I wasn't aware that I did not quite let go. I want to be mindful of it to not pick it up or keep it remaining in my background. And I think the significance of it is growth, one, but then two, also, I was just having a general like conversation with someone, and I just felt like I was on a soapbox, and I was like, I am so sorry. I have no idea where all of this came from. And she said, oh, it's okay. She said, sometimes we don't know what we need until we just, get the pouring out. And she was like, maybe you just needed that, honey. And I was like, you know what? Going in my let it go, box. And so I am just really, really excited at least once a month giving back to myself, pouring back into, what I've carried that I just don't need. It don't belong to me. Or, and again, actually people, places, or things. If it's someone that just I've carried in 2025 that I struggle with letting go, baby. One of these 12 months out of these 12, you might be getting let go, but I'm excited. I've never been able to do that ever in my life. So it's like I'm excited about that alone.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And however I can support you on that, like, let me know, because that's so important. And where I would start with that is I would simply ask you the question, why are you holding on in the first place? Right? So if you're going to start the journey of letting go, it becomes, why am I holding on in the first place? And the more you can ask that question, the more you'll realize you really don't have much to let go of. It's like the Tao says, it's a practice of detachment. And it says the best way of learning to let go is not to hold on in the first place. And I know that's a big like wisdom thing that we could all aspire to grow to. But when I work with people on letting go, especially in the fall, when I go and do energetic releases and I do the spaces for people, I say, why are you holding on in the first place? And really take an inventory of, why do we hold on to things? Why are we attaching to things? And why do we feel like we have to hold it in the first place? So that's questions to ask too as you're doing your let go journey that I can work with you too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, because it's kind of like, I don't even know where it came from.
Vanity, were you saying something, or did your thing just come off of mute? We can't hear you, Vanity. Are you talking?
Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. My bad.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, I was about to. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Tarisha. I thought Vanity was saying something, but what were you saying?
Okay. No, yeah. I was just saying that the significance and why it is so important for me, because I've never been able to just let go. But here's the thing. A lot of times I don't even realize that I'm holding on to something. I can't even identify what I'm holding on to. Do you ever just been emotional on a day? You're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And it's like, I can't pinpoint it. But it could have just been you being there for someone, or just naturally, I'm a natural carrier. I don't know. The Lord just trusts me like that, I guess, to carry certain things. And I don't understand it, but yet it's like, now knowing that, okay, I'm meant to carry certain things, I have to learn how to also let go of those things as well. So I'm constantly speaking with people day to day, like that is my job. Obviously, I'm speaking to someone or multiple people, all throughout the day. And what I didn't realize is that I'm picking up other people's problems day to day. So not learning really how to decompress from that and literally like have, whether it's a spiritual bath, whatever it is, like have a total rinse daily. I never knew the importance of it. I just thought maybe, okay, go get your workout on, do what you need to do to kind of feel good, but it's bigger than that. Some of the residue of the things that can remain in the background that you're not even aware of. So I just think me coming up with that was all the things that I thought I let go of, but it's, again, the residue from it remains.
No, that's totally understandable. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, for sure. So the questions I'm gonna ask now really are at end is like about setting intention now, of really looking at those dimensions and now being aware of sort of where you are and taking self-inventory when it comes to your wellness. So the question I want to ask now is, What truth about yourself feels closer to the surface right now? What truth about yourself feels closer to the surface right now? What truth about yourself feels closer to the surface right now? And if anybody has the answer to that, would like to share, again, it's intuitively led, can't get it wrong.
Can I share, Tay?
Yes, please.
The truth about myself that comes to the surface most is that I can do it scared. Whatever
Ooh,
that it
okay.
is, the two it areas in the wheel for me is
Yeah.
occupational, because as you know, the journey I'm on, just started my own
Mm-hmm.
LLC, and I'm freaked out because
Sorry, you
I'm
breaking up. Say that last part again. You broke up on the end.
gonna do it scared, and then the physical as well. I'm scared.
Okay.
The, I'm sorry. The truth about me is that I can do scared.
Yes. No, no, I got it. You had froze, so but we had got that part in the end. And so that can apply to all the
That
dimensions, right? So that's the all parts of the truth about you because all of the wellness encompasses all of who you are. So you could apply that to every dimension, right? And whichever you start. But I love that doing it, you can do it scared. I love it. Anybody else got one that they can share what truth about yourself feels closer to the surface right now?
I got one.
Uh-huh.
Um, I've been in a space where I just have been trying to lean on betting on myself more versus
Mm-hmm.
waiting on other people's acceptance or understanding
Mm.
of other people's perspectives. And just continuing to get confirmation from whether it is spiritual alignment or just my
Mm-hmm.
day-to-day symbolisms or activities, but understanding and feeling more comfortable. Like I'm not there yet, but I'm in the process of feeling more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
betting on myself and choosing, me. So like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that
Oh,
I'm
I
consistently
adore
working
that.
on.
Yeah, I adore that. That bet you can bet on you want to bet on yourself more. And again, that can apply to all the dimensions of, I'm betting on myself. And I do a lot of coaching and work with people who need a lot of validation and a lot of validation. And if you know me, I say like only thing that need to be validated is your parking ticket. You don't need validation. But what a lot of people mean is that they want a space where they could be witnessed and understanding what it means to be witnessed by somebody, to be safe, seen, and heard in that space, and how you can take that power back for yourself. The first place we start with that is doing it ourselves, right? Witnessing ourselves, making ourselves feel safe, making ourselves feel seen and our feel heard to our own self. So that's the first place it shows up. And I absolutely love that, to bet on yourself more. That's a beautiful answer. Absolutely beautiful. So last question I'll have, and then we'll move more into discussion is if transformation was gentle, what would it touch first in your life? If transformation was gentle, what would it touch first? Gentle being the key word here. If it was gentle, what dimension or what would it touch first in your life?
Steph, quick question. What
Mm-hmm.
which part of the wheel would relationships be? Is that social?
Social. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the good thing about the wheel, for I think you all were here when I had it up, was the eight dimensions talk about really, we're vast, dimensional people. But the great thing about doing the eight dimensions of work is that there's levels to it, right? There's no place, hopefully you can evolve in each dimension, but you can't work on one dimension without affecting the other dimensions as well, right? So if you work on occupational, that could itself help with financial, or it could help with social, right? If you're focusing on physical, right, it's going to affect the wellness of emotional, is going to affect the will, so they all kind of work together. But when we zoom out of our lives and we start looking at transformation, it's about where we are right now. So when I talk about that, the transformation was gentle. With what area of your life would it touch first? Even if you're dimension, right? It's like it's gentle. It's not me pushing and pulling and striving and working hard and sacrificing and fighting. Like, it's gentle. So if it was gentle, what area of your life would that transformation happen for you?
I put physical, emotional, and environmental
Mm-hmm.
is what I need. Gentle, healing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go physical because you said that first. If you had to do a top, that's the top one for me too. Because physical is all things health and physical health and all that good stuff. Like, just gentle. You got to go doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, mammograms, this, pap smear, blah, blah, blah. It's like gentle. Gentle doesn't feel like such a task.
Right. And since I'm getting older, I feel like the physical really messes with my emotional and my environmental well-being as well. So I feel it's all connected.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all connected. I love that. And so while you guys are maybe jotting or thinking that down, I just want to tell you all that I'm starting a new 6-week course, starting February 1st for 6 weeks, and it's called the GLP-1 plan. But it's not the GLP-1 where you get a shot. It's the GLP called the Gentle Life Planning for One Life, right? So it's going to do all the things that the GLP shot would do, but it's going to apply to all of your life, right? If your emotional wellness could get a GLP shot, if your physical, if you're, financial, right? But it's really called the Gentle Life Planning. And really, it's about relaxing our nervous system. It's about feeling like you want to focus more on your being state than your doing state. You want to bring in ease in your life. You want to co-create with the creator, and you want to create a plan that really fits the whole version of yourself getting to show up in a gentle way. And a lot of people think gentle means easy, and it doesn't. But gentle means not being so hard on ourselves. A lot of people self-harm more than they realize. They may not physically self-harm, but you emotional self-harm. You tell yourself stories that put yourself down. And a lot of people do that, which causes them to overeat, which causes them to overindulge, which causes them to do these things that sort of the GLP hormonally does for us mentally, to say we're done, we're full, we don't need this. But there's a way for you to wake that up within yourself, to say that and apply it to all parts of your life. So we'll be sending out more information for that 6-week course. It's going to be dynamic. I'm so excited for it. I've been working on it for a while, and I can't wait to just share my journey and just some other new findings in that course. So I want to tell you about that. So excited. All right. So transformation was gentle. What would it touch first? Anybody else have something that they want to share when it comes to that question? Coco, you said relationship, so I don't know if you was leaning or if that was gentle or your answer.
I would like to share.
Yes, Vanity, please.
I would need a little gentle transformation in my emotional area. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I tend to carry everybody. And then it's like when you realize how far it goes back, it's just, it's hard not to carry when you've always carried. It's like, it's hard
Mm,
to step back and allow life to life for other people when you know how hard lives. And it's like,
mm,
so to just step back and not carry for other people, I think is hard for me, just because I've
mm-hmm,
always, just to see somebody else go through something else is hard for me. But also, when I step back and
mm-hmm,
stop carrying other people's, then I have to see where I have left me neglected all this time
mm,
in my people pleasing, and how far it goes back and how deep it goes in me. So
mm-hmm.
I would need a little gentle transformation in that area.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I would love that to be gentle. That's a great one. And I'll invite you. Y'all know if y'all have ever coached with me, I'm all about that language. So it's not hard, it's habit. So in the next time you explain something, take the word out hard and put habit. It's not hard, it's habit. And habits can be broken, and habits can be changed, and habits can be, it's not hard, it's just habit. Y'all know me with words though. But I love that. That is a great place for it to be gentle for you and to be able to recognize that again without putting so much work towards something. You know, I work with, even with coaching, I work with a lot of people who have sort of worked on something year after year after year after year, you know, rather that be weight release, rather that be occupational, you know, really getting your career, rather that be getting in a relationship. They've worked, they feel like every year I've worked towards this and I don't know if I see it moving. I don't know if I'm growing. And so that's something I invite you all to set intention about this year, is that it doesn't have to be this like drag yourself to the top. You know, it could be just really taking inventory on where things are moving and shifting. And so that brings me to my next question of really setting intention is, if you had to pick one dimension, it's going to be hard for some of y'all to pick several dimensions, but if you had to pick one dimension that when we meet at this coaching circle, the 12th circle, one dimension where you see that you not only saw the shift, but you felt the shift, right, in your life, where you could say, I moved the dial. The dial has been shifted in the right direction, and not just externally, but internally, right? In all parts of where you want to see it forward. What dimension would that be and why? And it doesn't have to be this big thing, right? Just if I'm like, I just want to look up, and when I talk to Stephanie, because that first circle, I said this, and she asked me on that 12th circle, and I can tell her a whole thing of how it shifted. What dimension would that be? Just one. You got to pick one. Anybody, and whatever that first thought that came up, that's probably your answer. Whatever the first thought is, was probably what wanted, you know, your attention. So anybody want to share, even if you don't choose it, what might have popped up for you for that dimension? And I'll share, mine was physical, and I did not want, both times I've done this exercise. It's been physical, and then when I think about like, nah, I'm gonna move it over here. But it's like I could choose to listen to intuition. I could choose that. I probably will because there's something there. But I kind of was like uninterested. Now hard pass. I wanted to be financially. That's to where I want to see shift. But
Right.
both times I've done this, it's been like, nope. Like, but anybody else want to share?
Occupational for me, Steph.
Occupational? Yeah.
Yeah. The physical was right there, like, no, pick me. And I'm like, you might have to wait one more year for me to focus. Like, it's going to be on the back burner because I don't know, for some reason, I just don't want to obsess. Like, when the question that you asked, what truth about me is at the surface, that's kind of what
Yeah.
the truth that I can do it scared. Well, what can I do scared? The physical is one of the things, and then the business is the other thing. So it's
Hmm.
like the thing that I'm gonna do scared, which area? That's the one that's like, da-da-da-da. So
Yeah.
I
And it was
gladly
the
put
reason I
goodness
asked
on the
that question
background when you
first about
said
what's
pick
on the
one. Well, in
surface
that
so
case,
that,
I get to pick.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, I love it. No, you're right. And I didn't mean to cut off your wisdom, but yeah, absolutely. That it was the reason I asked what was on surface first and then say what, because I wanted the subconscious to pull from whatever you had brought up and attach it to this is really where our work starts. And to me it is the path least resistant. It's the most gentle plan, you know, gentle planning is that you want to flow naturally where your life see it flowing, you know. And like I said, if you've had that thing every year, take a break from it, maybe move to another dimension. Maybe your answer for transformation lies in another dimension. right? I've worked with people where they said finances every year. I'm gonna get my budget. I'm gonna get my money right. I'm gonna get my money right. Every year they broke. Every year they don't move the dial. Every year they just pay their bills. And I had to find us like, let's move on another dimension. So we moved and we worked with her on another dimension, which was occupational. She had career, she had gifts, she had all of these abilities, and she cultivated it. And guess what? That made her money right. So it's like sometimes move into another dimension, move into another dimension. Even, so look at some of those ones where you said, you feel most aligned. If you feel most aligned in your spiritual, cultivate that. And that could help with one of the dimension where you said you feel more pulled or heavy in. Right. So I would give like, and we can, and I'll open this up as we're closing to see if you can make that connection and what comes up for you. I'll give you one, Shady, for example. She said, occupational, going to school, and social has been like, she just has been stressing out. She's been going, but she feels the most aligned spiritually. So what looks like if this next year I set more spiritual goals, I cultivate that, how much easier would it make occupational? Well, and if spiritual, you feel like everything is for you, nothing can be taken away from you. Everything is in divine time. Everything is always perfectly aligned for you to set up and win. Every obstacle is really shaping you and molding you to be the greatest at what you do. If you can hold and cultivate and embody that, when you go back to occupation in school, that it's a breeze. I don't even feel the resistance. I don't feel the pull. I don't feel this sacrificial thing going on. I don't feel like I got to drag the cross with, like, I don't feel that pull because I actually cultivated the dimension where I felt the most aligned in. So, sorry, I use you for an example, Shady, but I can remember you too very well right now. And so anybody else could do that. Think of the dimension where you say you felt the most aligned, and then think of the dimension where you say you felt the most pulled or heavy or weight. How could you, and give us an example if you will, and to share in that dimension and tell me how that could help the dimension over here where you feel heavy and pulled and stretched, or the dimension you've been working over year and not seeing anything really move significantly. Anybody want to share that example? I'll give y'all a minute. That's a good one. Like I said,
I
Shady
would
was like, you're good. I'm like, sorry, Shady. You can do your own Shady too, but I just used yours. You could say it differently.
I would say mine's would be emotional. Because I feel like every year, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna feel this, I'm not gonna let them do this or whatever, and I just fall right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and then sometimes I feel like I react in emotion instead of awareness of what's going on, and I'll just like react in that emotion. And I've been trying to
Mm-hmm.
work on that forever. But I feel like if I work on my physical, then my emotional will line up. If I work on my body, on myself, versus
Mm-hmm.
on carrying everybody else's issues, like somebody else was saying, I was like, oh, I know, I feel that too. Somebody else was talking
Mm-hmm.
about, oh, I'm dealing with their emotions and neglecting my own. So if I work on my
Mm-hmm.
physical self, then I can align my emotions with my physical. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I have been lacking in I always say, oh, I'm going to do this and let's happy new year and happy this and happy that. But this it's not always happy. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to change that, because if I'm physically happy, then my body, talking about my body, if my body's physically
Mm-hmm.
happy, then
Mm-hmm.
I will not have all those reactions and emotions. So
Mm, that's it, Alyssa. And I feel like that might have resonated with Vanity as well, because she was saying that too, giving to so many other people and feeling away to other people, that instead of trying to combat it through there, shifting and moving to, like you said, the physical dimension. Like, I'm about to move into the physical dimension. And if I could cultivate that and really get my belief system, stronger in that area, then naturally, like you said, the emotion will follow. So that is definitely way more of a gentle approach, right? Already going into the dimension where you feel momentum, already going into the dimension where you feel aligned, going into the dimension where you feel like you have a better understanding about, right? That the beliefs are very strong in. That's perfectly. So you said that beautifully. And I got it written down here. So we're going to be working together for that. With the physical self to the emotional. All right. Anybody else? Because I'm writing y'all's down, because this is what we're gonna be checking. I'm gonna be checking for y'all in 12 months for. But that's wonderfully said, Elisa. Thank you. Absolutely. That resonated with me too.
And me.
The question, Vanity, was what dimension you feel the most aligned in, and what dimension that you felt more pulled or stretched in. And instead of focusing on that dimension that you feel stressed in, how can you move to the dimension where you feel more aligned and stronger and work on that more? And then that will help you in the dimension that you've been trying to work over and over and over and over again.
Hey, can I
So I
share?
was saying the way Elisa said it could resonate with you, Vanity, too, because you both kind of had the similar thing of like emotional and people weighing on y'all and kind of pulling and feeling like you got to carry so much for other people and neglecting yourself last. So she was like, instead of her focusing on emotional, she's going to shift to physical because she knows when she is, the physical dimension, she feels more supported. She knows that if she works on that, the emotion will just align with that. Did that better explain it, Vanity? You can say yes in the chat. And
Hey,
what
Tay.
were you gonna say
I'm
something,
sorry.
Coco? Uh-huh.
Yeah, real quick. So notice, like I kept saying, do it scared. Well, fear is in the
Mm-hmm.
emotional realm, but I actually feel really strong in my emotional realm. Not
Mm-hmm.
arrived, but trust in the process of the healing that I'm
Mm-hmm.
in. So that's why I feel
Mm-hmm.
super strong emotionally. So perhaps I continue to like dig into that emotional strength because I feel strong there. And then as
Mm-hmm.
the fear erases, I can move forward in the physical and the occupational without that fear
Mm-hmm.
stymieing it because I
Mm-hmm.
trust my emotional health and my emotional intelligence. But yet
Mm,
here it is
mm,
showing up as I talk about, what I mean, starting a new company, starting to lose weight.
mm-hmm.
Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel really strong emotionally. No, if
Mm-hmm.
the fear is stopping me from the other. So that is so oh sorry. Geeking out over
That's
this
good.
process. Thank you.
I love it. I got you. Yep. So we just your shift in the years, we're gonna see you move the dial in your emotional dimension this
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody
Mm-hmm.
else got to the dimension you feel the strongest in, more aligned in, and then the dimension where you feel like you've been struggling and it causes you to feel heavy and weighted down, and how we can make the shift. But you guys get the gist of the exercise. So for all of you, when you get a chance, I want you to look at that dimension and really then set your intention for 2026 based off of maybe this framework. Because what we want to do is ease into the year, setting intentions in a more gentle approach, not disrupting our nervous system, not disrupting our life, not really repeating patterns, doing the same thing over and over and over and hoping it gets better with time, but really moving the dial on something that is already aligned for us to move the dial. I've done this with people. I know it works. I've done it for me. I know it works. I do it on my birthday, not the new year. So the new year is my halftime, like in football, if you watch football. So when the new year comes, I'm at my halftime. So I really get to just assess like, hey, what's been working? How am I feeling? Are we still on the right path? We feeling pretty good? And if not, I can, course correct or adjust, and then I'm taking it home in the second half, because I always tell people I win every Super Bowl. Every year I win the Super Bowl in my halftime. Every birthday I won a Super Bowl. So I know I'm going to be well and more whole every year. But we can do it in a way that we don't have to sacrifice wellness for success. And y'all know that's my mantra, that's my key phrase, that's my sort of a life mantra that I live by and that I share with other empowered women that want to strive to do excellent things, is that we don't have to sacrifice our wellness for our success. And our wellness is that dimension. So, well, we have 2 minutes left. I just want to open up the floor. Any wisdom you would like to impart or share, any takeaways from this exercise? I have, like I said, everybody's name on here, so I'm tracking it. I got it down. If you haven't been able to think of your dimension that you want to move the dial on this 2026, let me know. I'm going to be your accountability partner. I'm going to have it down. That's something we'll be working and checking with you throughout the year, and that I'm believing and knowing that you'll be able to really shift in this dimension in a way that you've never done before.
I would like to share really, I'll try to wrap it up because I don't want to be too long winded. But I do want to say that, you hit so many things like right on the nail. And even when I, was going to share and then, did not, you end up saying things like full circle, even when you compare to with Shayon. Mine at first was, like I said, spiritual, and then I was going to say, the stretch of emotional. But the beauty of it, and then going back to me saying me having a letting go party monthly, the beauty, and then Vanity, when she spoke of, it's really hard to let go. It's easy to say I'm going to let go, but it's hard when you know who you are. Like, I can't help that. Like, I see something on the side of the road, I'm like, oh, blessed, and oh, Jesus, like, really want to pull over, make a difference. Like, whether it's pick up an animal, pick up a family, do anything, anybody that's lacking or in need of, I want to fulfill, I want to go help. That is just naturally who we are. So once we finally just accept who we are, it makes room for the growth to let go. It makes room for acceptance to say, this is just who, the Lord, or, this is just who I am. And I have to be able to be well with who I am. But what it also does is it opens up the door to help you accept or use your discernment. Let's say that. It helps you accept your discernment and say, that's not my assignment. I feel this way. Like when I first came on, I was like, oh my God, she looks so beautiful. That was the emotional me that was like, Steph, oh my God, I love you, Jesus. Emotional immediately. Like I was going to go right into that. And then I cut it off. Like, okay. But I am an emotional person. I have to accept that. And being authentically emotionally, it's okay. We need that in the world. We need emotional people. We need sick people. We need some of every kind, and we have to accept that, being able to let go, all of the above. So I just wanted to share that because it really, like you were saying, in a wellness circle, it takes all to make a completed thing, within ourselves. We really have to learn to accept and know, like, it's really okay. And I love every single time when you say, like, the right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's just where you are today and what you feel you can handle and accept. So, again, don't want to be run on, but it's just a lot of things that you said are just like golden nuggets for me, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tavisha. No, thank you for sharing that. And that'll be more on the course. There's a course I'm working on now called, it goes with the one I did with Radical Acceptance, and it's called Radical Allowance. And Radical Allowance is for people who are very emotional, the overgivers, people who feel called to just give and really support. And the empaths is really great for empaths, but it's called Radical Allowance. And it's allowing things to be, and it's sort of getting out of the way so that you can make room for allowance. And it's to come. So I will share with you when that comes up, because that is, as I'm working with, women across the world, I mean, from surgeons to, nurse practitioners, and to just all of these different incredible women doing incredible things, to politicians. I'm learning that we really have common fibers. And some of these practices, really could help you in your journey to wellness. But it is called Radical Allowance. And I've been doing it live with some people now, and they've been getting really, really powerful results. So I'll share with that more with y'all in the coaching circle on the app. So we got 1 more minute left. Anybody want to just share or impart wisdom or anything with the group before we close?
I do have to say that when I got on, I did see Stephanie. I was like, whoa, that's power right there. Like and then I even like looked at it again. I was like, nah, I see her. She's glowing. She's glowing. She's in it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank
because I'm like,
you.
oh, it's so beautiful.
I love you, Lisa.
Right?
Thank
Yes,
you.
I did too. Very powerful.
Thank you. I love you guys. I
And
love
it
you
is,
guys
and
so
it,
much.
and I didn't mean to say not beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful, but to me, I think powerful is more than beautiful. So that's why I say you look powerful. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes. The light in me recognizes the light in you. The power in me recognizes the power in you. Thank you, Elisa. Well, I love you all. Thank you for taking this time to show up for yourselves. You guys know I'm in your corner. And I just hope and pray you have an amazing week this week, that you continue to show up for yourself, continue to show up for the circle. And I'm here to support you and coach you, because every person that is successful need someone to champion their light. And I'm here to champion your light for you, with you. And I'm just so grateful for every single one of y'all. I love y'all, I adore y'all. I'll share this recording because I want you to be able to listen back and write notes and kind of get new insight. So I'll make sure I share this. If you haven't already downloaded the app, download it. We're going to have new courses, new things to invite into that space. And so I just love you all. And I'll see y'all next month. Bye, everybody.